Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got quite a balanced rack with quite a few bingo-y tiles, but B and F together means I'm not seeing a 7 here. Through a T, I would have benefits. Is opponent going to oblige? If he doesn't, then I have beef and phoebe, getting rid of the scoring tiles, but also getting rid of both of the E's, which is a good bingo-y tile. I'd much rather play off just BEF, but there's no 3-letter word there. So could there be an 8 with a tile other than a T? Well, quite possibly. I think Benny Fick doesn't take an S. What else could there be? Well, I'm not seeing anything, so it may just be benefits. Opponent taking a while with this play. And he's played just an N, no T. So this should make it fairly easy to look for 8s. Not seeing anything with the N. How about the O? No, not seeing anything. Okay, so any alternatives to beef? And phoebe? Gosh, I'm setting up a hot X spot here. So why don't I not do that and play this instead for 19. Yeah, and this rack leave isn't terrible. Wow, that looks jolly bingo-y. And if there is a 7 here, it will be massively high probability. But it hasn't leapt to mind. I'm thinking unraise is a phony. No floaters to consider. What about NE? Anurines, perhaps? Not sure about that. But could there be a 7? Fairly sure unraise isn't good. So, is there a bingo through the L to spare my blushes? Allurins doesn't fit. Wow. Such a big moment. Sani is a really good 6-letter set. Let me just consider initial letters. No, and I don't think allurins is good. I think it's allurons. So let me think a little longer about a bingo through the L, which will be massively high probability. Lunaries. Oh, well, that doesn't fit, but does lunaries have an anagram? I feel it does. But it's not coming to mind. Nothing through the I. So I can play uni for 21. Lunaries. Is there an anagram? I feel like there is. Something like silurane. No, it's not coming to mind. I'm playing uni for 21. And I have ormries and semi-raw. So semi-raw plays in row J and ormries plays in column 13. So I am bingoing. Strange how sometimes words come to mind immediately and other times you have to struggle. Zoo does not take any hooks, but I am guaranteed a bingo. I don't think opponent can block. Well, he could if he played in row G. It's possible he could block both, but it's pretty unlikely. So where's best? Semi-raw puts an S in the middle of column 1. Not great. Ormries. doesn't get doubled, but I do get value from the X. And semi-raw also doesn't get doubled. So what about a play in row G? Yeah, Ormreys plays in row G, and I think that's the best spot. M gets doubled, W gets to score twice, and it's not providing anything super massive for opponent, although there will be a hot row H spot. So anywhere else I haven't considered. What about semi-raw? Does that play in row G? Well, it does, ending AW. Yeah, and that's less dangerous in terms of row H. Now opponent's played 24 points. Just wondering if Axile takes an S, but I think even if it does, I'm reluctant to open column 15. Fantastic. And what opponent has done is stopped or restricted ability of opponent to play in row H. Well, completely cut it. Nothing goes between S and bet to make a word. So I think this is the play for 77. Wow, what a pickup. I have cramped with the blank as an E. Does that play anywhere? Is Dane good? Got a feeling it isn't. So where else do I have to consider? And Dane doesn't take a D at the end either. I have the floating I and E of Ormreys, and that's about it. So what does an E do to this rack? It could end ED. Well, there certainly could be something here. Compadre ends with the E. I think the blank would need to be a vowel, so this rack plus an E. Not seeing anything. Wow, opponents bingoed, but open up the prospect of a triple, and I'm sitting here with a blank. So do I have something? Fairly unlikely. I and A. Let me again consider just vowels. Nothing there. What about an E? This rack plus an I. Not seeing anything. This rack plus an I. That's compadre. Doesn't work. So this rack plus an I. No. So not only do I not have a triple, I don't think I have a bingo through that I. What about with a Y? No. Gosh, what a tricky spot to be in. Could there be a bingo with the blank as a consonant? So I have camp with DR. Let me briefly consider the consonants. Not seeing anything so far. That looks close. Still not seeing anything. That would be compadre and compared. Compared. Wow, I do have a bingo in column 12. Phew. It's always good to have a bingo in your back pocket when you're looking around for a better one. Obviously, a triple would be a massive miss if I do overlook it. Not seeing it. Let me get compared down. 488. And, well, not a great pickup, but it is 7 random tiles, so hardly surprising. And opening up a new triple lane is fine when one already exists. Gosh, just wondering for a moment if Loco Wort was good. I don't think it is, and in any event it doesn't play. But I do have Root with Low and Wool with Tor. And, well, quite a few floaters, 40 points for opponent, so I haven't looked at the scores yet, but I do lead. So, where to play and what to play? I do have Cowl, but that leaves 2 O's on my rack and there are 3 in the bag. So I'd quite like to play off 2 O's. But where can I do that? Not seeing anywhere in column 1 or row A. What about column 1? Is there really nothing there? Well, there's row Tolai. And the X has gone, although K still to come. What about a better spot? I could leave both of these alone. So just a play of Woo somewhere. Ah, interesting. I do have Woo down here for 28 points. That's a big score. Can I extend it? Jar is good, but Woo isn't. Jal not good. So I think this is the best I can do, but this is a good score, 28 points. And bingo-y tiles, but the vowel choice of O and U, not great, so I'm not seeing anything. I do have out, but that burns all my vowels. Now, Woo has sort of taken out row A as a triple lane, although bingos do end IC, and there are lots of I's to come. Eye of Intone, still pretty dangerous, but opponent may take that out himself. Now I have an L and T for going after Ow. And MO takes a U. So I have Ludo. Great, opponent has restricted column 1. Only 30 points. I was thinking about Ludo, but of course any play like that is going to open column 15. This rack isn't that great. So I could play Torulai. I don't really like putting a vowel next to this premium square. Through the triple letter square, quite a lot of scoring tiles can go there for an easy 30 points for opponent, and I'm only getting 18. And I'm drawing a lot of random tiles, so I feel I can do better. 11 minutes on my clock, 40 tiles in the bag. What goes after L? What goes in front of Airy? L does, so let me just put this in. So, gosh, so close to Utilidor. So I have Doylt. 29 points. Pretty shocking rack leave, although still a queue to come. I must be able to leave a better rack leave. What about a play in row L? Nat is good. No, not seeing anything at the beginning. Wow, what a tricky rack to deal with. Is there really no way of getting rid of R and U? Well, of course, Torulai did achieve that. I'm minded to go for this now. Toruli for 18. Wow, I have darkies and dayakers. Not sure this is a massively friendly board for sevens. What about row L? No, because the either S or E needs to go after NY, and neither plays in column 2. Ormreys takes nothing in front. What about a play ending in C? Can't see one. Nothing in column 14 because Axal either takes nothing or takes an S. Now, a couple of useful looking 2-letter sets, TI and OR. I lead by 50. Not seeing anything with OR. Or TI. What about the floating T? Gosh, so close. Straked is good, but the T would need to be one across. If opponent does place a scoring tile next to the O, he could be opening a lane. Supposing he doesn't. Opponent's played. Oh, wow. Absolute dreamboat city. I have dayakers and darkies in column 15. Is there any choice as to where they go? No, there isn't. Fantastic. So, dayakers for 89. Bang! Fantastic, and I lead by over 100, just 23 tiles in the bag. And that was my fear about playing in column 14, despite the attractions of playing Ludo. Now, what have I drawn here? This doesn't look too bad. And I have an H and a Y for going next to this O of Toruli if opponent doesn't play there. And if he does, well, I can hopefully do an overlapping play which snuffs out bingo lanes at the top. Still a bingo lane in row L. Quite a few E's to come, and NY takes an E, and a couple of S's. Both blanks have gone. I feel this rack is close to a bingo and will make some 8s, but I'm not seeing a 7 or an 8. Now, do I have a 5-letter play ending H or Y? Both of my vowels go next to the T. I have right on, but that doesn't place a big tile next to the O, and it opens up row A. So, no, well, yes, I have Tora, but that keeps the Y. However, that's no terrible thing. Oh, wow, if I had an E, I would have HYE at the top. Wow, that would be big. Do I have anything which goes after mod? No, so I do have NY. Now, opponent's played Venge. So, Orgy is good. What goes after Tin? Y, well, if my Y's already gone after Org, I have TY. No, I don't have anything great. I have Vary for 30. Let me see what Hoy scores. That's 32. And I don't have to take out this spot. Wow, just 2 A's left. I have an A. So Hoy is opening a bingo lane, but maybe it's one that I can make better use of than opponent. Interesting. Now let me see what Nye scores. 30. I think I would quite like to take out this spot. There are quite a few tiles which can go after the O. F, H, P. I was thinking about playing Tora 47. I think that is the play. And I'm retaining the Y for, well, retaining NY for top right. So I think this is pretty good. Tora for 47. And not a bad pickup. I lead by 113 tiles to come. And look at that, I've dodged the Q and the U's and the V. An opponent could have cat top left. Now I have FY top right, and that's going to be close to 50 points, I think. Will it stay available? And even if it's taken, wow, nice play by opponent, 55 points. And this is 48 and a good rack leave. Great, and I still dodged the Q. Although with a U to come, it could be used by opponent to score. But look at this, I've still maintained my 100-point lead. Through an I would have opiating. So, do I have a bingo ending in C? Not seeing one. What about a bingo beginning with R? No. Beginning TA? No. Hooking nigh? Nothing. Could be a 10-letter play ending ting. Wow. No, opiating wouldn't work anyway, because that's only 9 letters long. I wouldn't be using my N. 10 minutes on opponent's clock, 8 on mine, so quite a speedy game, and just 8 tiles in the bag. Well, super grateful for Phi. 100-point lead is much better than a 50-point lead, which can be overhauled by a bingo. Now, column 3 quite hot because ZO takes a number of hooks. And I'll be able to play there if opponent doesn't. Ut takes an A. And ZO. Well, ZO takes an O. So maybe I don't have anything fantastic. ZO takes A and O. But that's all in terms of the tiles on my rack. Now, 52 points for opponent. Dearie me, it's not over yet. And the remaining tiles, well, there could be a bingo there, an SQU bingo maybe. So, what am I going to do? How long do I have? 7 minutes on my clock. 4 tiles in the bag. So, I don't see any way of blocking row M. A row M play is going to be face value. I lead by 50. I have par for 25, keeping a balanced rack. Can I deduce that opponent didn't have the Q when he played Lebs? Not really. However, I'm retaining I and IN and T in case I draw the Q. But where would I play? I don't think Nanes is good. Wow, I'm not sure I could play the Q. This could be significant if I'm stuck with the Q. Wow, and Tava sets up a really hot H spot. Maybe I should be thinking about doing something else. What about this? Atopic for 30. So I lead by 50. I'll lead by 80. But does opponent have a bingo? Well, he might, so this is absolute madness. I have to play 3 tiles or fewer. What about a play down from the V? And I'd really like to score as well. So I have Vang for 24. That's not terrible. What about a play through... What about Poting? Doesn't give much away. 20 points. Leaves precisely 1 in the bag. Retains my good Q tiles And I'm setting up a QI spot, QI and PI. If that's the only one, opponent could block it, but it's better than none. Yeah, I am going with this. And I draw the Q. Does opponent have a bingo? Well, if he does, I draw the U as well. So I have aquatic in row A. It's not a bingo, but it's a big score. And I lead by 70, so I can survive a bingo. Thank goodness I didn't empty the bag. Through a C, I would have a quaint. Well, the C of compared is in the wrong spot. And a quaint doesn't have an anagram. Although it's possible that the U is in the bag. But if that's the case, he will know that I've got options for the Q. Now, opponent plays off, wow, 2 tiles, leaving himself with 6, so he's definitely not bingoing. He is retaining the I. So I have quantic for 54. Is opponent going out? He's got digest. I'm setting up dig for opponent, but he would have that if I played aquatic for an even bigger score. So I think this is better. Yeah, quantic for 54. And that takes me over the 500 point mark, which is good. And opponent has digest and nide, so he can go out. But he may prefer to play gist, if that scores enough. So, yeah, I'm not stuck with the A. I have Tava. I have TA from the T of quantic. And opponent has also set up, yeah, the S for Beths. But he hasn't gone out. Great, so I get to score more points and get some count back. 4 minutes on my clock. So I'm thinking about playing Tava for 7. Anywhere better for the A. I'm just having a quick squiz down the board. Par for 5. Renge would take an A in front if there was space. Yeah, Tava's best. And the final score, 447 for opponent, 520 for me, a winning margin of 73 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. So high scoring. That is, are we over 1,000? Nope, 967, but jolly close to 1,000 points on the board. So it was opponent to go first. No bingo here, plays no. I6, beef for 19. Yeah, that was my play. Opponent's rack, plays Axel. Wow, phew, I was waiting for a bingo to come up. I did actually spend quite a few moves after this one looking for an anagram of lunaries in my mind, or in half my mind, and didn't find one, but there is none. That plays, and I play uni for 21, and resign for 33 burns the S, so I like my play. Opponent plays bet, and now here we go, semi-raw and ormries. And I get 77, 1 more point available, but only by sticking an S in column 1. And opponent would have made hay with that, with a rack like this. He would have had insolent. So, opponent plays in tones for 69, that scores the most. So, did I miss a triple? I didn't. Compared was the best. C3, dump card onto the T, that's nice. Macropod through the O. Yeah, so compared looks like it's best there. I was expecting there to be more options. Now, opponent continuing to score well, 40 points, only trails by 36. And this was a tricky rack. Root B10. Oh, well, that only burns 1 O. So what do? I play Woo for 28, keeping Lort. Yeah, I think that's the best rack leave, and the score is similar. Opponent struggling with vowels. Plays Airy. Wow, I won Dilutor and Larry. That would have been the play for 35 points. And yeah, I get considerably less with Toriuli. But many of these rack leads will have negative value. And I was retaining an R, I think. Well, DR. Now, opponent's rack plays Oldie, which was fantastic because I have Darkers and Darkies in column 15. Opponent plays Venge. And I have Tora for 47, so I've now got a 100-point lead. But opponent does not lie down, plays Cuz for 55, and that gives me the unsafe margin of 50 points. That fortunately I'm able to come back with 5 for 48 to re-establish the 100-point lead. Wow, nice rack for opponent, close to a bingo. Is able to play Lebs and retain an S. My rack didn't want to play Atopic because it empties the bag, only 4 tiles left. So I play Poting, scoring 20, leaving 1 in the bag. Opponent's rack, no bingo, plays EH. And now I have Aquatic and Quantic, which is a great position to be in at the end of the game, both of which completely winning plays. And opponent does have a couple of outs, but they're not bingos. Plays Gids, and finally Tava for 7 is best. So, what a game. Absolutely tremendous fun and very high scoring. Opponent nearly 450 and myself over 500. So, absolutely tremendous fun. Many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.